Bullying. It's a social ill that affects children and adults of all ages and in every culture around the world. And in this era of mobile technology, it's taking on new, even more dire forms. This week on Full Frame, from celebrities to former victims, meet the people who are taking a stand against bullying. I'm Mike Walter in Los Angeles. Let's take it full frame. RJ Mitte spent 5 seasons portraying Walter Flynn White Jr. on the award-winning AMC television series Breaking Bad.
I wanted to give you so much more, but this is all I could do. Do you understand? Son, can you hear me? Do you understand? You want to send money? Yes. Good. So you'll talk to Lewis, right? You killed Uncle Hank. You killed him. Wait, son. No, please. What you did to Mom, you You killed Uncle Hank. Listen to me. You've got to listen to me. Just shut up. Just stop it. Stop it. I don't want anything from you. I don't give a You killed Uncle Hank. You killed him. Needs this money. It can't all be for
What
nothing.
you did? Just shut up. Shut up.
Please.
Will you just leave us alone? You Why are you still alive? Why don't you just die already? Just die.
Pretty powerful stuff. Like his beloved character on the show, he also has cerebral palsy. But RJ insists he won't let physical challenges limit his career in Hollywood or his public visibility. One of his goals is to remove the stigma associated with disabilities. RJ is now using his fame and global recognition as a platform to advocate for people with disabilities. He's the official ambassador for United Cerebral Palsy. He's also taking a stand against bullying. He's the celebrity spokesperson for Shriners Hospital's Cut the Bull campaign. RJ Mitte, I want to welcome you to Full Frame. Great to have you on the broadcast.
Such a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, we just watched that scene. It's just incredibly powerful, but I noticed you kept looking down. Is it tough for you to watch your own stuff?
I can't stand my voice. I can't. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. It's like shocks. Yeah, I don't like to really. I don't look at any of my work. I don't listen to it. I avoid it like the plague.
But that was that was a fantastic bit of acting.
It was fun.
How tough was it to do that scene? And how many takes do you have to do? And you've got to just muster that energy each time, right?
Yeah, no, I like scenes like that, and I'm sure we did it 4 or 5 times. But I love takes like that. I find when you're doing a scene with that emotional level, and it goes and it builds and builds and builds. I think what actors want, and that's what I like. Most of my scenes in Breaking Bad are like that. They built, and it was a roller coaster ride.
You're a young guy. I'm sure when you read for this part, you thought, well, this is kind of an interesting concept. But did you have any idea when you got picked to be in the show? I mean, it has just been such a phenomenon, hasn't
it? It's growing more and more, and that's the best thing about this industry is when it likes something, it takes it and runs with it. And I was 14 years old when I started this. I ended at 20, turning 21. And it gave me a career, and it gave me an opportunity. And that's the thing is, in this business, when you have an opportunity like this and you can grow from it and you can work from it, you can literally just take it and put it to every facet of work. And you can work on documentaries, you can work on nonprofit work with different organizations. And this show gave me an opportunity to do that. It gave me the skills, it gave me the ability to know what this industry is like and to see it for what it is. You'll still learn. I learn every day.
Could you tell it was a defining moment in your career when you got this and you start, or was it after a few episodes you started to see, wow, people were talking about this show, or was it almost instantaneous?
I think the defining moment was, oh wow, I'm speaking in front of a camera. I think I'm not in the background waving. I'm actually a lead actor, and a lot of people didn't watch the show until the last 3 years. The show got popular in the 4th to 5th season. We had very good ratings, but it wasn't like it is now, where the show's still growing. We have an amazing afterlife, and if the show was popular in the beginning, I don't think we would have the amazing afterlife that we do now. But we were lucky enough, we survived through the writer's strike, we survived through so many things that should have cut the show.
Benefiting others is a key feature of your life, though. I mean, that's using this platform. A lot of people achieve stardom, and it's like it's all about me. But I think that's what I think people really like about you. How do you leverage that platform to take on some of the things we just talked about in the introduction?
Well, I grew up in the philanthropic and nonprofit world, even before I started acting, and my feeling was always big in giving back to the community and giving back to elderly and schools, and I saw it growing up. I understood the reason why people need to give back, and the reason why not so much give money per se. Money is fine and all, but give time and effort and showing generosity. And with acting, people see me. People see what I'm doing. People see the work I'm bringing. So that gives it even more of a platform to show people what they can do and what they can bring to a cause and what they can make. And I was lucky enough to work with Shriners Hospitals for Children on this campaign, because I've done bullying for. I've talked about bullying for a while, and I've dealt with it and been bullied, and I know what it's like. Today, people with physical disabilities are twice as likely to be bullied. With Shriners Hospitals for Children, I am asking you to help stop the bullying of kids with disabilities. Join us. It's time to embrace our differences. It's time to accept people for who they are. It's time to cut the bull.
One of the things that I think is interesting, and I've heard you talk about this somewhat, and I'd like you maybe to amplify on it for our audience. I've heard you say that you pitied bullies as you were growing up.
I do.
And so talk to me about that, because I think that's a kind of a unique turning point for somebody who's been bullied. Once you turn the page and look at it that way, I think that's so affirming for yourself in many respects.
It is, and pitying a bully is more damaging. When you pity someone, that's more damaging than actually hitting or yelling at someone. Because if you pity someone, it's all on them, and they're doing this, and that's why they're bullying, is they want that attention, and you can't really ever get rid of that mindset, and you can't ever get rid of bullying. Bullying will be around for the end of time. If we could fix bullying, we would have world peace. But we're not.
Then let's work on it, which you're already doing.
Which it's working, but it will never. This will always be a cause. This cause will never end. But if you can learn how to take what someone's doing to you and pity that, and literally look at them and seeing what they're doing, because they're destroying their own life. And if you pity someone, though, it will affect them. It will affect change.
But it also makes and molds you being on the receiving end. I mean, I think some of the people that I have so much admiration for are the people who face adversity and learn from it and actually grow as a result of it. So how much did it impact the person that's sitting here in this room, would you say?
Well, the thing about bullying is bullying taught me a lot of social skills in a way. Bullying came from, for me, when it happened, was I had people that would stand up for me. I had people that were there for me. I had people that I didn't even know step into it, and it did mold me, and it did help shape who I am. But I had a lot of support from my grandparents. I had a lot of support from my family and the people that were around me that helped mold me into being who I am. And I talk about not letting fear manipulate you, because once you start letting fear manipulate you, you start becoming someone else. That's not you anymore. The track that you were on just got rebuilt in a different direction.
One of the interesting things is years ago, George H.W. Bush signed the Americans with Disabilities Act. And a lot of people know his son, who went on to become president, but I've met his daughter, Doro Bush, who worked at National Rehabilitation Hospital with a lot of people with disabilities and saw these remarkable stories there and invited her mom and dad to come to the hospital on several occasions and actually urged him to, and she said one of the proudest moments was sitting there watching him sign that. And yet, when we look at that and the milestones that have occurred, I've heard you talk about Hollywood, in many respects, kind of lagging behind when it comes to disabilities. They're afraid that it might slow down production and that sort of thing. So, and you think of Hollywood as such a liberal place. So how difficult has it been for you to navigate all of that, and are you pushing them?
I am. I'm pushing, and we've been pushing. There's a bunch of organizations that are making stride in this exact thing. IMPWD is a committee that I am a person with a disability, and it's for people that are in film and television with SAG and AFTRA, the diversity division of SAG and AFTRA. We're trying to show people how real a disability is. In a sense, this is everyday life. You'll see people every walk of life with a disability. You see them all every day, all day. When you go through a whole movie, you see how many background extras and not one with a disability. That's not real life. Like that, we're trying to get more accurate, honest portrayal of television and film, and it's growing. There are 11 actors on television right now with a disability, which is, I know that sounds small, only 11, but it's, when I first started, there was only 4 even.
Jeez.
And it was part of a 2%. I think now it's like 3% now.
Jeez, that's amazing.
But it's growing, and that's what we need. We don't need shows that are all about disability. We need shows that are featuring people with a disability that just happen to have a disability. And that's what people need to see, is how normal it is, and it's growing. We're lucky.
You said SAG-AFTRA, that's Screen Actors Guild and American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, which is, they combine, they're the largest. I mean, if you were an actor or a voice artist here in Los Angeles, you've got to join that. You've got to be a part of it.
There's no point.
Let me ask you about the burden, though, of being on a show like that and having a disability and knowing that you're up against the stigma as you go in. I mean, you've got to nail your scenes probably more than anybody else. I mean, this is what's got to go through your head. I mean, how much of a burden was it for you to, considering that, geez, I've got to perform at a really high level, because it's not just me, it's all these people.
That's how every actor should be, though. That's how everyone should want to be, is you got to perform at the highest level. If you want the job enough, you will do that, no matter what. No matter who you are, disabled or not. If you want the job, you will perform at the highest level. And disability, what people forget is, a disability is knowledge. Without a disability, I wouldn't have gotten Breaking Bad. I wouldn't be able to do half the things I do today. I wouldn't be able to speak on bullying. I wouldn't be able to speak on what, I'd probably still be able to speak on bullying. I'd still been picked on. But, but I wouldn't have the ability that I have to take emotion into certain scenes without my disability, because it pushed me. I had to struggle. I had to work towards it. I had to overcome it. And I wouldn't have the know-how nor the capability of doing it without that disability. And that's how a lot of people are. People get a disability, or they get hurt, or they get something happens, and then their eyes are open, and there's a reason why. It's because it's knowledge. It's another way of looking at the world. And when people see that for what it is, they can grow and they can learn and they can thrive.
We're going to have to break here, but I want to ask one final question. I just know that given your stature and this show, that there must be young kids with disabilities that reached out to you, maybe sent mail, or you've heard from them. And so tell us a story about one that really touched your heart.
There's so many kids out there, and that's the thing. There's not just one that touched my heart. There's many. There's so many people that are working to achieve what they want, and they're fighting. There's kids out there every day fighting, and not just disability, but all walks of life. And everyone has their challenges. Everyone in their own way is disabled. Everyone has these challenges and tribulations they have to fight through and go through. And I've seen so many kids, and that's the willpower that people have is tremendous.
Well, RJ, it's been fantastic. Thanks so much for coming in. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, the power of kindness as a remedy to bullying.